the Governorship Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Enugu State has upheld the election of Governor Peter Mbah of the People's Democratic Party on the March 18th governorship election. The three-member panel of the tribunal, led by Justice Kudirat Murayo, dismissed the petitions of the Labour Party and its candidate, Chijioke Edeoga, insisting that they could not prove their petitions. In dismissing the petitioner's petition, the tribunal declared that the National Youth Service Corps discharge certificate is not a qualification to contest the governorship election. Meanwhile, the Labour Party has rejected the judgment of the tribunal, claiming that the tribunal erred in its judgment. Recall that Chijioke Edeoga is challenging the return of Peter Mbah as duly elected governor of Enugu State on grounds of submitting a forged NYSC discharge certificate over voting, amongst others. Now, this morning we're joined by the Commissioner for Information Enugu State, Aka. Of course, we likely will also be joined by Casmir, Agbo, who is the Labour Party chairman in Enugu State. But of course, when he joins us, we'll let you know. Good morning, Mr. Akaeze. Great to see you again this morning.
Good morning and welcome with all sense of joy. Okay, well, I'm guessing there's a lot to celebrate in Enugu State. Let's get your mood or your view on the ruling yesterday. A lot of people are very, very shocked as to what the court ruled, but what are your thoughts? You are preempting the idea that I have. You say a lot of people are shocked?
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of reactions that I've seen, are really, really shocked at what the ruling was.
Well, I don't know what shock means but joy and celebration broke out in Enugu entirely yesterday. And it's still continuing. If you can see my face very well, you see that I didn't sleep early, and it was difficult for me to join you so quickly because people are happy. The joy is going through a lot of people, and they are saying that the mandate has been confirmed, irrespective of the fact that the other party has been given opportunity to go further in their quest to towards the mandate of the people. But that doesn't matter. It is interesting to know that we are happy here in Enugu, that if you listen to His Excellency, he said that it was an opportunity to continue to give to people what they desire and fulfill the promises he had made during the campaigns. So congratulations to you and to the people of Enugu State for being joyous, like you've said. So I'd like us to go to one of the meat of the court's judgment, one of the issues in contention here, which is the issue of a forged certificate. Was the certificate, the NYSC certificate that was presented, whilst the court has said that it is not a factor for determining determining anyone who would run for election, was that certificate forged or not? Well, evidently the certificate was not forged. The person he served under even came to the tribunal to testify. So the certificate is as clean as anybody's certificate. But he gave instances why there was that little glitch about the NYSC. He was serving, and at a certain point, he had to do other things, came back, and all the things, they were communicated to the NYSC, but I don't need to go into the granular facts of the tribunal. But it is important to note that his NYSC was not forged. He has a genuine NYSC certificate, and it has been proven all through, even at the lower courts. Well, Mr. Akaeze, I don't know if that is 100% factual, because the NYSC DG, in previous television interviews, said it, that the certificate that was being presented by Governor Peter Mbah didn't come from the NYSC. And there's even a letter that was put out by the NYSC. I don't know if I can still find it this morning, that said once again that certificate didn't come from the NYSC. So what do we mean by it wasn't forged? Or are we saying that the NYSC DG, maybe doesn't know what he's talking about? He may have his words to himself, but he was just coming into the office quite newly, and he didn't ask questions and went haywire, began to say a lot of things that were not completely correct. So he gave instances that are not correct. So his letters were not as true as he presented them. And His Excellency has also gone to court to say what you said is wrong, and you'll be punished about it. So we'll continue to wait for that to appear to.
I mean, well, we're going to keep going back and forth about this, because, the NYSC has not been able to, since that television interview and since that letter was also put out by the NYSC, they've not, countered those claims. They haven't changed their minds and said, oh, we got it wrong. The result or the certificate presented by the Enugu State governor is actually from NYSC and it is real. And of course, the court ruling yesterday, one of the things that was mentioned was that to prove that the result is fake, the Labour parties would have to present the real one, which of course, got a lot of people talking. So where are we going to find, evidence? Or how can we prove that the result was actually not forged? Because from your explanation, and of course, it's completely countering the statements by the NYSC DG that the result is forged.
NYSC has gone through some problems in the last few days, trying to explain certain things to them. And it just shows the element of not being careful with statistics, not being careful with official documents and so on and so forth. So I would say that this matter is not a serious matter in the sense that NYSC must go back to its shells and reorganize themselves and know what they are doing. The DG, I told you, was new in the office then and could not even ask questions before he went to do whatever. Whatever happens, we have all known that so many things happen in Nigeria, and I don't want to go into that fact. Well, it is as certain as that he has not forged his certificate. He served, even brought out his pictures about where he served. He didn't forge at all. I think that we'll leave it at that so that we can go ahead. And the court, the tribunal chairman, Justice Kudirat Murayo, in her wisdom, said it wasn't even a necessity at all to consider it so well. It
wasn't a necessity. It's not one of the requirements, by the Constitution to run for office of governor or president. Everyone accepts that. The big bone of contention here is whether it was a forged certificate or not. And just to clarify, the NYSC DG came in January 2023, and the interview that I'm talking about here, where he outrightly said that result didn't come from them, was in May. So that's a full 5 months time or period, for him to have been in office. But let's move on to other things, and I think I would also just quickly clarify with our viewers this morning that the Nigerian Constitution, Section 182, says here that a person cannot be qualified for election if he has presented a forged certificate to the Independent National Electoral Commission. And that is the real bone of contention with regards to Enugu State candidate for the PDP, Peter Mbah. But, if you insist that it was not forged and NYSC DG is maybe not sure of what he's saying, let's quickly bring in the Labour Party chairman, Barrister Casmir Agbo, to the conversation. Good morning, Barrister Agbo.
Good morning, my brother. Good morning, everybody.
Morning. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Barrister Casmir Agbo, before we get into the meat of whether this certificate was forged or not and what that will likely mean, we have the Commissioner of Information who has given us the general feel of the mood in Enugu State that is generally celebratory. Is that what it's like on your side of Enugu State?
No. There was not the way for the Enugu State. There are a handful of PDP people they picked up somewhere, and that came to the court premises with mass press, and they already sold clothes. Knowing fully well that they have won the judgment. Because throughout the trial that lasted for 6 months, PDP, they don't come to court. You only see a handful of them in court. And yesterday, they paid some miscreants that I know very well. When I came out from court, they were also out of court premises. And they were accumulating and dancing with clothes already sold for the judgment. So I wonder, the masquerade that came yesterday, masquerade that came when the judgment has been given, where they are where there was a pre-notice to them that they are going to win. Because if you want to celebrate judgment after the judgment, just a day like today. Not on the day of judgment, you come to court with the mass press and so on, knowing fully well that you will win. That's what happened yesterday. Even today, at Osarogie State, there was no jubilation in Enugu State. People were angry over, and we are asking questions. What about education in Nigeria? Are they going to say that if you forge a certificate that you have a package, a free passage in Nigeria? That's having the question on the lips of everybody in Enugu State yesterday.
All right. At some point, we'll get to the commissioner to have him react to the alleged celebration before the judgment was released. But I would like you, sir, to also talk about the results of the judgment yesterday. And of course, the judge did reach the conclusion that the NYSC certificate is not necessary. We've also asked Mr. Aka if the certificate was forged, to which he clearly says no, it wasn't. I would like to find out what your thoughts are on this. And in the event that this was forged, what would that mean?
Well, Aka is trying to be economical truth. In the address of PDP, they say even though it is bought, even though, mark this one, is there in that address, even though it was forged, it is not a requirement for becoming a governor of the state. As we said in our own address, after admitted the forgery, if you look at section 82 of the Nigerian Constitution, understand that it says there that any person who presents a false certificate is disqualified, is not qualified to contest an election. So how can Aka tell you that they did not forge when the team of PDP and team of Peter Mbah admitted that even though it was forged? Because when I was asked questions, because I mean in the tribunal, the person asked me, look at the requirements of becoming a governor. And I listed all of them. And he said, is there any NYSC in that place? I said, they skipped NYSC, but they attached the NYSC certificate, which is being questioned in the INEC form. So once you have presented this certificate, whether master, whether PhD, which is not written there, it is perjury in law. It's forged. So the man supposed to be tried for perjury.
Okay. I'd also want to find out if, I mean, besides the NYSC contention, are you in support of the other aspects that the court raised? There were conversations about overvoting.
No. In our second relief, we said overvoting and the mathematical error. The court carefully appointed Ogbo and Ogbonmwan, that has 9 polling units we are questioning, and went to Benu and went to the north, and we are deducting votes, 4 votes, 5 votes from PDP. After the deduction, they came to Ogbo and Kano area and said, we are deducting 400 and something votes from both sides, from PDP and Labour Party. And we questioned them. How can they deduct votes from us that when they gave us 0 in the Kano East? They gave us 0 in Kano East. If you give somebody 0 in exam, what are you deducting from 0? So it was a traversal of justice by the tribunal because they compromised. We are aware before the judgment, one Professor Stubu was accused of being the one that wrote the judgment. He was my lecturer in the university. So when I met him in the court, he asked me, Casmir, they said I wrote the judgment. I said, I'm just hearing from you. Are you the one that wrote the judgment? He said, no, how can I do that? How can I write the judgment? But we are aware that what they did. So they have been a communication with you. So all we asked them was, remove that number from Kano East, because it was 10,000 accreditation of voters in Kano East. And they had 7,000 something, and we had 2,000 something. But they gave him 30,000 and went to Abuja and removed 14,000 from the 10,000 and left 15,000 for them. So if you remove that number, that's 6,000 votes or 6,000 plus, that was stopped in Kano East. Nobody will be leading them with at least 5,000 or 6,000 votes. And that's what you are asking for.
Well, of course, there's going to be, appeal, like Labour Party has mentioned, that they will be appealing this judgment.
We are filing our appeal today. We are filing today.
All right.
Before the next one, we will file our release, our appellate release.
Yeah, all right. Okay, let's quickly bring you back. to maybe quickly respond to that before we move to other things concerning Enugu State proper.
All right. Good morning, Casmir, again, if you can hear me. He was talking about masquerades in Enugu. If you are conversant with Enugu, you know that sometimes masquerades appear here and there. But the jubilation yesterday, I wouldn't like to talk about spirits, but you can call them at any time to come and celebrate and jubilate. He said that no person was happy in Enugu. And before your introduction, you made an allegation that people are shocked. We're shocked. Well, I was saying that the joy was too much yesterday. The celebration was so much. I could not even get to the governor himself yesterday because he was in celebration. People were around him and so much celebration. That be the case. I wouldn't like to get into the idea, the legal matters and implications and so on and so forth about what Barrister Casmir had just said. But it is important to note that these decisions they come in process. And I will tell you that by the time they go to, he said they will appeal today or tomorrow. That's okay. The court has its own ways of deciding matters. The tribunal chairman will also have at least papers to write so that the upper court will now look at what they have done. And I am sure that they're going to confirm it. And the governor of Enugu State will be more interested in moving forward and providing what he has to provide to Enugu people. All right. It is important also. Okay.
No. Whilst you're answering that, I also wanted you to, I know you did touch on the celebration and the masquerade. I think one part you missed out on was where he said that the celebrations happened before the judgment was released. Almost like you already know, like, the party already knew that they were going to win. I think you should also address that whilst addressing some things he said.
Would you think in all honesty that we would think that we are going to fail? Suddenly the joy came, the success came? No. We had all the confidence that the ruling will be in our favor. And it came, and the joy broke out. Of course, if you are going to a match, if you are a footballer, the anticipation is that you are going to win. If you don't win, you begin very solemn, and you'll be so sad that you could not win the match. The implication is, we will win, let's get ready for celebration. If we lose, we go home. But God has done it that we won, and the celebration broke out. It's the only thing he saw is, I told you that in Enugu, you will see masquerades along the street sometimes. But then, this one was ready to celebrate if their governor won. And he said everybody was sad. And he also acknowledged that masquerades came, even the spirits came to celebrate. Let's not reduce it to ludicrous manner. But it is important to know that we have won and we are happy and everybody is happy in Enugu. The celebration broke out in Enugu. You can as well get back to Enugu and ask people. You have a lot of people. My friend there has been in Enugu, so you can ask a lot of people. If he's not biased in whatever he's saying, he will get the real thing going.
All right,
I think the job is electrifying.
All right, let's bring in Mr. Casmir Agbo. Let's talk about the judgment. I want to, from all that you said, and a number of your party members have said that there's been a miscarriage of justice here. You also mentioned that you're going to be filing your appeal today. Do you have confidence in the appellate court to be able to dispense justice as you will see justice to be dispensed? Do you have confidence in the appellate court?
Well, as a lawyer, I have confidence in the court, but when court goes outside legal processes and proceedings, we lose confidence. We have confidence in the appellate court because how can they tell us that a man who was doing youth service by this year is also chief of staff of the governor by this year, and somebody is defending that illegality? We were chief of staff and we are deployed to do youth service at the same time. Is it possible? It's not possible. How can you tell us that DG of NYSC, a military man, serving military man, will come on air to disown a certificate being provided by NYSC man, and today a filed suit of 20 billion against him, and today they are no one is having about the suit. They have withdrawn from the suit because they know they cannot defend it. How can you defend a situation whereby the DG certification in NYSC came to court to pay court with this certificate? He had 2 certificates on his hands. He had the original one and the fake one, and tendered it in court and said this was the one that Mr. Peter Mbah supposed to have collected from NYSC, and this is the one he's parading. We did not issue this one. This one is in our custody, and Supreme Court has made it clear that it is the issuing authority that can disown a certificate. Then they went and hired a retired director of service, a retired DSS man, who came to court with a letter not headed with DSS headed paper, and he had no ID card to say that the record keepers made a mistake. A DSS man. What a funny country. What a hoodie poogie in this country. We cannot go to in their parole. What they are doing is to extend their time in the office to continue to loot. If it is true that they paid 3 billion naira to this woman who is from Osun State, who was equally written against by some litigants in Osun State to NJC. The record is there on NJC that he was quoting obsolete sections of the law to give justice to somebody that doesn't deserve it. Justice Akano. We cannot continue this way in this country. So we are complaining that the judgment they gave was a traversal of justice.
Mr. Agbo, you know, you've made very, very weighty allegations
yes,
at the tribunal judge and, of course, at the PDP in Enugu State. I would like that you own, you know, those statements.
Own them entirely. I'm a lawyer. I own them. The record is there.
All right. Let's quickly go to, of course, away from election matters and just quickly wrap up with current situation in Enugu State. There, of course, are still complaints about security challenges. I'm going to bring Akaeze back now quickly. If you can just clarify with us in 1 minute. The security situation in Enugu State, there are still claims that kidnapping is on the rise, and amongst other security challenges. The governor, of course, has spent more than 100 days. We are still waiting for updates concerning his promises, you know, on water supply in Enugu State. So quickly, just share with us what the current situation is.
I am glad that Casmir Agbo is a lawyer and he knows the weight of the things he says, and he has already. I would like to react to the fact that he said he is confident about what will happen in the next jurisdiction. Let us all know that some of them write a lot of things, people say a lot of things without gauging with the confidence that they will win. So if this confidence builds up and something punctures it, certainly the frustration will be so much that people will begin to say a lot of things that are not correct. But in terms of security, we are getting reports that some of the things being written, people are recycling what is coming on internet and so on and so forth, and trying to make it appear real. We have challenges about security, no doubt, and we are getting it solved. As a matter of fact, security is gaining currency in Enugu State. His Excellency has made provision for that, and people are beginning to breathe the air of freedom, the air of security. We have pockets of places where we are yet to attend to very completely. But it does not mean it is on the rise. I think it is generally on the decrease. If you come to Enugu City now, people come out in the night and then enjoy themselves now. But we are still getting into the communities and the roads along the way so that it will not continue to happen. I would say that the security is getting managed, and the police, they have also given examples of where they have attacked these hoodlums and made sure that they don't continue to wreak havoc as it is. Security is getting better in Enugu. I think that's the finality of my intent.
All right, we would have to wrap up here in the interest of time. Akaeze Aka, the Commissioner for Information in Enugu State, thank you very much for joining us. Barrister Casmir Agbo, Labour Party Chairman in Enugu State, thanks also for your time. We'd like to see where the Court of Appeal, of course, you know, what its ruling is, but we'd like to speak with you both again. Talk to you very soon.
Thank you, and I hope you will not be biased in hearing what we say.
Absolutely not. All right.